Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Larry.
Welcome to Manopause,
A podcast dedicated to men over 50.
brought to you by Manopause.com. Hi, Mike and Larry here, and today's special guest, you can see this good-looking, young stud, and that's Skip Lacour. You guys know who he is, I'm sure. He is the creator of the Age Optimization System. He's a 6-time national champion, drug-free bodybuilder, and he's the world's leading man formation expert, specializing in personal development for older men like Larry. He helps men who are a little older become the best that they can be on the outside and on the inside of the gym. So welcome, Skip. Thanks for being our guest today. And as you
I'm
can
so
see,
glad to be here.
Skip's wearing our shirt, so you must be part of the family now.
And I am an excited member of the family. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
And by the way, you're rocking that shirt. Of course, if I stood up, I'd probably look pretty good too. But this shirt's ideal for hiding some of the anatomical problems we develop when we get
Do
older.
not stand up, Larry. Don't stand up.
So I'm going to get right into this with you, Skip. My first question is, our bodies are changing as we age. We all know that. So how do we adjust our fitness programs to sort of maximize the benefit and minimize the risk of injury?
That's a great question. And there's two groups of men who I usually work with and I help. And it's the men who used to train a certain way when they were younger, a lot of exercise, a lot of heavy weight, and that's one.
Heavyweight.
Yeah, heavyweight. They were really a lot of work, a lot of days of training. They were really into it, and now we're at this age. Or there are men who are just getting into it. They took care of their family and their business, and now they're really going into the fitness for the very first time.
That would be me.
What's that? Okay, great. So the great thing is that when you know how it all works, you know how to prioritize it. At this age, just kind of have to know what we're doing in the gym. We want to stay safe. That is the most important thing. If we know what we're doing, we just, tax the muscle enough to get the job done. And we don't need to overdo it. At this age, what we really need to concentrate is our eating habits. Eating habits make up, as they say in the fitness world, up to 80% of the way you look and feel. Right. And
cheeseburgers are out.
Well, in their place,
Right. Right.
But when we know how it works and we make it simple, not too complex, so you don't overdo it, right? So saying that there's no cheeseburgers or food that you enjoy, that's too extreme. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. But nutrition is a huge part. And when you know how it plays that part, there's less of a need to overdo it, push yourself too hard, and do anything that's unsafe. It's all about longevity. It's all about sustainable systems, and just hitting that muscle some is better than none. You don't have to train and you probably can't train like you did when you were 25. It's not needed. All right. And when you are just starting a routine, just hitting the muscle, understanding how it all works. And again, this is about fitness. This is about health. It's about energy. It's about longevity. A lot of that excess isn't needed, and keep it simple and effective and consistent.
That'll keep me coming back.
Simple.
It's simple.
Right.
and I can eat a cheeseburger, okay? Without the bread, of course.
While you're exercising, that's the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
You're burning it off right away. All right, Mike, you're up.
That's one of the challenges when you put it all together to be healthy and fit, is that we're influenced by visual things, training in the gym, all the different exercise. Unfortunately, it doesn't take all that to be healthy and fit. And if you think that you're going to train really hard and you're not going to eat right, you don't put enough priority, you're not going to get the results that you want. So it's really important how each part of the fitness process, it's understood how it really works.
Right. Okay, so here's the second question. And this is a personal question for me. I have a bad hip. It's hereditary. The doctors say I have to have a hip replacement sometime in my life, right?
Right.
And I don't want to do it now, of course. It doesn't hurt that bad. But I do want to start exercising, and I aggravate it when I start walking and taking long walks. So what do you suggest I do do I build the muscle around the hip, or tell me what I do to make it, so I can at least work out and stay fit, but not aggravated?
Right. Well, that's a great question. A lot of times, building muscle around it seems like that would be a great solution. It's not that easy to do. A lot of time, it's just repetitive in genetics. We wear out differently.
Right.
So the type of exercise that aggravates it or allows you to exercise without that extra pain. So walking, that may not be it. On a recumbent bike, they may be able to accomplish the same things, get you moving, get your heart rate, get the
Right.
blood circulating, burn off some calories. So you got to find that form of cardio. That's the outcome that you want.
Right.
And you find the right avenue, the right form of cardio. It may not be walking that works best for you in that situation.
That's great. I think I have one of those in my bedroom. I see my wife on it every morning.
Yeah.
Is that what that is? It's a recumbent bike. Okay.
He has to move all your clothes that are hanging on it.
That's true. Yeah.
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 How about swimming, Skip? Is swimming, you like swimming for that kind of thing too?
Yeah, it really depends on, there's a lot of factors when you want to be healthy and fit, and they all play their part. So you can have a little bit more of this, a little bit less of that. Swimming is great. Maybe not so much as you might think if you want to lose body fat, but it's a great, working it, it's exercise. Again, when you have that diet intact, that outcome that you want to be healthy and fit, build whatever muscle you can at this age, stay as lean, lose the body fat at this age. Again, the importance of nutrition, and then how you feeling, the exercise and the cardio. That is swimming for joint pain, hip problems. That's something that's many times it's recommended.
Mike, you could go to the YMCA and do those pool exercises with the ladies. I think that would work.
Yeah, I'll take Martin Short with
yet.
me. I think he'd be great at it too, right?
Those are great. Those are great. You could even wear the top and everything. It'd be great. All right. Well, I got
those old-fashioned bathing caps with the little flaps on them, right?
Larry has one of those.
With the flowers on the edges.
That's
right.
right.
We're dating ourselves, right? If we even remember those, right?
So I have a question that's related to that, and that is balancing the aerobic training you're doing with the resistance training, because I know you emphasize resistance training not necessarily to end up looking like you, but because having some muscle mass is important for overall health. So about that.
Right. Well, again, the big picture, we want to stimulate muscle growth. It's good for a lot of things, bone density, weight training. A lot of the experts say it's a fountain of youth, right? So we want to do it. Again, we want to know what we're doing. We want to be safe. We don't want to push it too far. These are the type of things I'm going to be talking about on the manopause.com website, how to go into it. I do believe that a weight training routine, a resistance routine, weight training, weight resistant should be a part of your fitness program. Certainly not to be a bodybuilder or a big bulking, and that's not even going to happen when you're a little bit older. But you can maximize that muscle building. It's an important part of the health and fitness process when it's done in its part. As far as aerobic training is concerned, it's great, to get the oxygen flowing, blood circulation. It's part of a healthy fitness program. A lot of men rely on cardio to lose that body fat. It does help. Obviously, you're burning some calories, but you can be healthy and fit. You can lose that body fat without doing any cardio at all. So a lot of men, and maybe if you've been to a gym, and I know some of the men in the gym.
I think I know where one is.
Yeah.
Is that JIM?
Well, not too many of us are in gyms right now, but we all have that one guy. He's a great guy. He shows up every morning, usually in the morning crowd. He's disciplined with his work. He's a good man, right? And he's on that treadmill every single day, really sweating. He's got the towel around him, but his body never changes. I can't climb inside his mind, but many times he overvalues the impact of what that hard-working cardio on a consistent basis will do, and he doesn't back it up with the eating habits. So it's cardio in its place.
Well, and that's the other thing is that I've found, since I've started up again, that the more I'm exercising, particularly cardio, the hungrier I get. And
Right.
then if you haven't gotten the eating habits, the good ones that you're talking about, it can actually backfire on you because now you find yourself consuming more because you're starving.
Right.
Right, right. No, that's a great point. It gives you that false sense of security. I've earned this, right?
Right.
Right. Yes.
You're waking up your metabolism. You're doing some healthy things that you're requiring the body, to the metabolism to work more efficiently. So
Yeah.
you're going to be hungry. All right. But if you think, well, I can eat more of the bad foods, I can eat more calories, and then with all that cardio too, you maybe feel like you're working just as hard. You may be sweating just as much. You may be doing it for the same length of time, but there's going to be kind of a law of diminishing returns. You're not going to get the same impact. So you're going to develop eating habits because you overvalue what that cardio is doing because it feels that way. And before you know it, you're in a calorie surplus, even though you're doing too many calories. So psychologically, it makes us lax. And again, one thing that I really want to emphasize on the manopause.com website is how this all really works. All right. Bring you to the other side with my over 31 years of experience, doing it for a very extreme level, doing everything right all the time for many years as a competitive drug-free bodybuilder. Now I'm 17 years removed. I live a life like you, believe it or not, and still look this way. I've been able to eliminate all the things that don't matter, that you may hear from the younger, passionate fitness experts, as they say, or the extreme fitness that looks so great, they're so passionate. A lot of those things we don't have to do.
Right.
Right. And my job is to simplify the process and have you do the things you must do and appreciate and get better at, but eliminate all the extra stuff that makes you overwhelmed, maybe causes you not to follow through or waste a lot of willpower, focus, energy, and time because you're doing so much cardio so consistently, but you don't understand that you have to watch that diet.
Did I mention your age when I introduced you?
You did, and
I
think
did?
no, you did
Amazing.
not. You just said you very complimentary, saying this young man. All right, and the purpose is I'm just like us here. I'm
Right.
gonna
I mean, you
be
said
years
it,
old.
and I'm looking over at Larry. Larry's looking over at me, and then we're both looking at you going, no way are you 57 years young. I mean,
I'll be 58
amazing.
years old.
Oh, 50.
I'm going to be 58 in a couple
Oh, I'm
months.
sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you know
No,
what? This is
You're
a
right.
good.
I'm 57 now. I'll be 58 in a couple months. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is a perfect time for us to just take a break. We'll meet with one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Thanks, Skip.
Larry and Mike here to tell you about a great product that's saving relationships across the country.
The company is called Manscaped, and their lawnmower is the grooming system for those private areas that look like a briar patch.
That's right. The pubes, the ball sack, the armpits, even the chest. Way too much wiry, nasty hair. You know it, and sadly, she knows it.
The lawnmower has ceramic blades that safely remove hair anywhere. It's waterproof and rechargeable.
Don't let your privates look like you sat on a deli slicer.
Get yours at manopause.com and get 20% off with Manopause20. The code is Manopause20. The whole family will thank us. You ready, Larry?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Welcome back, everybody. We're back talking to Skip Lacour, fitness expert extraordinaire. You may not know it, but he's 58 years old and looks amazing. So, Mike, let's get to it. You got another question?
Okay. I have a great question. Okay, ready? And I have to wear these to see. Does our diet have to change as we get older to help maintain fitness if we're already eating healthy? If so, what foods are best?
Okay, that's a great question. I always say the law of relativity states that nothing has any value unless it's compared to something else. So the question would be, what is healthy eating? There's a lot of people with a lot of different opinions of what eating healthy is. What I'd like to do, and I'll do this on the manopause.com website, is give you what healthy eating really should be, because instead of some random definition, what does that mean? Staying away from pizza and burgers. A lot of men do that. They eat healthy. They avoid those foods. But what are their standards? How often? All right. A lot of times, a lot of men who are dedicated, they know what success is. They know what discipline is. They do it with their family and their business, and then they come into fitness. And so a lot of times the challenge is when you're doing pretty well, you already look better than most men our age because you're putting in the effort. They don't eat enough food. So even if you eat the right foods and healthy foods, it's not enough to make you healthy with your metabolism. So what does that mean to eat healthy? Here's the other thing too, is that if a lot of guys, they'll say togo sandwich and some tortilla soup. To them, that's healthy. Some and if
well, there's lettuce on that. So
right. It's funny. Before I started my bodybuilding career, I was a guy who stopped and joined a gym and quit 2 or 3 months later. It wasn't until I was 27 years old that I was at a point in my life where I really focused. Right. Before that, I thought pizza was the perfect food. I really did. I played sports and everything like that. I think I was a smart guy. I really believed that pizza had something from the bread group and the cheese group and the lettuce group.
Larry does that all the time, right, Larry?
It's the same thing with a Whopper. You think about it. It's got every food group in there.
Yeah.
Right. Or we pick and choose, this keto diet, they eat burgers and butter and meat or whatever. Or I see on Weight Watchers, they can have cake every once in a while, right? So that definition of what healthy eating is, I really got to examine that to really be of value. All right, what that really means. But really, it's calorie consumption, calories ingested versus calories burned. No matter what diet you may hear about, they all have certain organizing principles. That's why this person thinks this is the best diet. Oh, that's a fad, this diet. They all have organizing principles. The overriding principle is calories ingested versus calories burned. That you don't eat too much of what you're burning, and that can vary from person. There's guides to help you with that. But more importantly, once you get committed, a lot of guys who I help are older. It's easy for them to get committed once they get going, but they don't eat enough. So it's calories ingested versus calories burned when you start off. But you got to make sure you're eating enough food once you get going. So and that's the overriding principle rather than the quality of food. Right, more than anything else. So, like I said, to be of real value, we would have to really evaluate what their definition of healthy eating is. Because another thing too, if you're too strict, I have a lot of guys who used to be maybe hardcore back in the day, and they eat. I'm just using the example, just the chicken breast, the boiled chicken breast, the brown rice, and the broccoli.
How boring.
Right. Well, if that becomes your definition of healthy, if you think that's what you need to eat. And totally sacrifice and be totally committed to that, it's too overwhelming. It's not sustainable, and you're not going to start. So in that case, they might have the right definition of healthy, but it's way too strict for them to attack it and certainly be sustainable. So healthy eating, those are some things that on Manopause.com website, I'm going to give you the right definition that's appropriate at this age for health, and take it from there.
Chicken's pretty healthy, and of course, the more skin, the better, right? So when you bake it, it gets crispy. Got to have that. Is that healthy?
It's tasty, that's for sure.
Well, that's the thing. Dovetailing with that is, we all know there's a million diets out there, and a good percentage of them are punishment kind of diets, in the sense that you can't eat this anymore, you can't eat that anymore. And there have been a couple of good ones. The best one I ever did, and I don't know why I'm not doing it again, is the Body for Life one. And I know you worked with Bill, I can't remember, what's his last name again?
Bill Phillips. I didn't actually work with him, but he was very generous with his time and his mentorship 20 years ago. Right?
Yeah, his diet basically doesn't preclude you from having anything. He does portion control. It's sort of based on your fist size. And that was the early meaning of fisting before.
Moderation, my friend. Yeah.
Moderation.
Exactly.
And the importance of, the quality of the food that you're eating. So it's not like you can't have a piece of cake or something like that. Matter of fact, I think on his diet, you had 6 days that you tried to follow it as close as possible. And then you had one day where you could do whatever you want.
Right.
And I think allowing you to do that doesn't make that forbidden food something that you want every minute of the day when you're not having it.
Right. I think it's a brilliant strategy. And that's what he did. He was an extreme bodybuilder, totally dedicated. And he softened it up and made it mentally and emotionally manageable by giving them simple guidelines.
Yeah.
And if, in later years, that's what, Weight Watchers, who appeals to the masses. It's kind of the same thing where it's just about portion control, because they know if you need to lose body fat somewhere around a man, they're going to not have you count calories, but the food that they allocate is going to be around 2,000 calories. All right. It's going to be somewhere around there for a man. That's enough to sustain life. And there's going to be a time where you may need to adjust that, but most people won't go far enough. They'll quit. Right? So it's a great starting point. For women, it's about 1,500 calories. And it's just a simple way to get you there without having you count it. Because again, I mean, I talk to a lot of men, just the thought that they have to count calories, it makes it too overwhelming right from the start. Well, so that's a simple and effective introduction to the thinking patterns, the execution of a healthy diet.
That's the problem I have with like Weight Watchers and some of the other ones, is that you eat their food in their portions, right? And so it makes it more challenging and almost stressful when you go to a restaurant.
And nobody wants to sit there with a calculator or with an app and start filling it out. It's just
really. Whereas if you do a different kind of process where you're like, okay, I can estimate the size of portion that I need to eat, and I can pretty much eat anything, and then just kind of have a general idea of what you're consuming. Because it has been shown that, that if you're on the wrong diet, your metabolism actually slows down, and then you have to eat even less calories, and it becomes this cascade of starvation, and you just give up and then go way over where you were when you started.
Do we have time for another question? Do we have time for another question before we break?
Yeah, one more question.
Okay, so for working men over 50 who may not have an hour every day to exercise, can we get benefits with less time? Do we need to go to the gym or have a ton of equipment at home?
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's a great question. It's all about knowing what you're doing, knowing how to execute the exercise. It certainly should be based on your goals. But how it really works is that you can either do a longer duration, all right, and you can get it done with a certain level of intensity. But if you know what you're doing in the gym and you have a shorter period of time, you have to know what you're doing, have the intensity, right? So you can do longer with less intensity, less precision, or you can do a shorter period of time and know how it really works. I really, help men get the most bang for their buck, in the shortest period of time, when that fits their lifestyle best. There's a lot of men who want to spend an hour in the gym 5 or 6 days a week. So
because they don't want to be home.
Right. And stress relief.
Right. And their wives don't want them there either.
Yeah, the reconnecting, right? So, we can make any training strategy work when you know the purpose and it fits your lifestyle, so it's sustainable. But yes, you can. And again, and I'll say this again, and I say this so much to the men who come to me, and I tell them, when you have that nutrition down, there is less of this need to overdo it or spend so much time in the gym, especially when you know what you're doing. I mean, so much so. See, I'm not a trainer in a gym. Right. Of course, I've been doing over 30 years. I can communicate the organizing principles of success, and that's what I do all day long, 7 days a week. All right. But there's one thing, like someone responded on Facebook, and they were new to me, and they said, I've never witnessed a trainer who emphasizes nutrition as much as you do. And I basically said, I'm not a trainer, number one. All right. I produce results, all right, whatever way it takes to get there. A trainer, they're responsible for, as I say, the 20%, 80% is nutrition. They want to keep you entertained, engaged, and take you to the higher and higher level through the training. But it's still only 20%. It's not the whole picture. All right, so when you start understanding that, you see how it all plays together. And again, there's so much visual training in the gym, working out. So we think that that's where the majority of the emphasis should go. And I just have to coach and guide and influence and persuade. That's not how it works.
That's
All right.
great.
So, I developed this 15 by 15 by 15 workout with very limited equipment, 2 15-pound dumbbells, doing 15 repetition schemes, all right, doing for 15 minutes. The equipment is the 2 15-pound dumbbells, a jump rope, a Swiss ball stability ball, and maybe a chair, right? They kind of rotate. So minimum amount of equipment, minimum amount of time. You do that, and again, in the right proportions with that emphasis on diet, you're going to be healthy and fit. It's going to be sustainable, and it's going to fit in your busy, productive life. Certainly when you go to the gym, if you're a gym guy, certainly can have you maximize what you're doing in there in the same way. All right.
Well, this is great. We're gonna take another quick break, and I am gonna want to follow up with what you were just talking about on the other side for a lot of guys that either can't or don't want to go to the gym. So we'll be back after this short break. Larry and Mike here to tell you about a great product that's saving relationships across the country.
The company is called Manscaped, and their lawnmower is the grooming system for those private areas that look like a briar patch.
That's right.
Get yours at manopause.com and get 20% off with Manopause 20. The code is Manopause20. The whole family will thank us. You ready, Larry?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, coming back, we're with Skip Lacour, 6-time champion bodybuilder, drug-free, I must add. And welcome back, Skip. We have a couple questions for you. Larry, what's the first question?
Well, the first question was actually something that you were talking about before, and that is the 4 most important pieces of equipment that you want to have at home if either you can't go to the gym, hate going to the gym, and don't have a lot of room in your house for a major gym. You know, what are the 3 or 4 pieces that you say, go out and get these and you can do almost anything with these? I know you touched on it before the break, but let's go over that again.
The pieces you can't hang clothes on.
Right.
Right. That's a good start, right? So I would say dumbbells, right?
Mike?
You know, there are dumbbells that they can adjust themselves. So the one dumbbell can adjust the weights. Something like that, something basic. You know, I'd start off with maybe, it really depends on the person, their level, but you know, maybe 2 15-pound dumbbells, maybe 2 30-pound dumbbells. Again, it's really it's where you start, right? I would get a barbell with some plates. Just start where you can there. I would get a bench, an adjustable bench, right? Those are basic equipments. You know, when it comes to cardio, you could do cardio. You could have a jump rope and do cardio. You could have a recumbent bike, we talked about, or a treadmill. A lot of people have that. You know, if that isn't where you can start, you know, if the weather's great, you can just walk and do cardio, right? It's just movement, right? And you can build from there to get it with a home gym. I mean, we could build from there. There are a lot of equipment that has it all in one, a machine, a universal type machine with a lot of different variations. And they kind of have it, and they'll explain all the different exercises that you can do it. So that one machine can take care of all the 4 that you're talking about.
You still have yours, right, Larry?
Oh, yeah. I could show you. It's all right here. Looks like my closet. What about hill walking?
Yeah, anything that challenges you, gets the blood flowing, all right, the oxygen circulating, all right, that you can, you know, kind of pace yourself, get that heart rate up in a controllable manner. It's just cardio activity. It's what you like, what you do, what you're consistent with. But that's great. It's movement, all right? I think the level that we're talking about, we're not talking about, you know, big hulking bodybuilders or Olympic athletes. All right. It's just that movement along with the diet to be healthy and fit, to think of longevity. That's a great exercise. Yes.
Cool.
Okay. Well, now enough about us. Mike has a question about you and what you've been doing.
Okay. Yeah. So Skip, we know you're in Northern California. You're living up there for how many years?
Well, Northern California, pretty much, my whole life, I was born in Massachusetts, moved to Northern California, Sacramento. Last 30 years, I guess, I've been living in the San Francisco Bay Area, right? Walnut Creek is where I
Oh,
live
that's
right now.
great. Beautiful area.
It
Great.
is
So you're going
beautiful.
to be joining Manopause.com, and you're
Yeah.
going to be our fitness expert, our go-to guru of everything tone. So tell us, how are you going to start? Or you're going to put on a program for us? How are you going to start?
Yeah, I think a lot of the basic organizing principles, again, my brand, what I emphasize is simple and effective. Keeping in mind that, we're a little bit older, right? So there's a mindset of what we can
Mhm.
do, what we should do, what we think we can do, what's possible for us. So that mindset so important to the fitness process at this age, right? So, there's sets and reps for everyone. You can look all over the internet and get exercises, right? It's the mindset, because I live our life. I've done it the extreme way. I know the contrast. I know what's needed. All right. I want to have a lot of articles with those organizing principles, mindset. It really explaining why at this age, that we got to have that sense of urgency. There's a lot of men who haven't put a high priority on their fitness. A lot of good men, a lot of hardworking men. It just went into other areas of life. And now, for whatever reason, maybe they got some bad numbers with health concerns. Maybe they have some friends, right? We start understanding mortality. This is the time to take care of our fitness. And it takes some massaging, all right, to shift our values to more into fitness if we haven't done it. And I do that gently, all right, by knowing why you're doing this. And again, when you have confidence in what you're doing, I want to coach and guide and support from that frame for older men. When you have certainty what you're doing, when you're not overwhelmed, when it's sustainable, when you know how it all works, you're more likely to make those sacrifices, doing what you must without overdoing it. All right. So training routines, I want to do live on the manopause.com
Yes.
question and answers, actual training routines. I talked about that 15 by 15 by 15, very simple workouts for 15 minutes to get the job done. Diet, exercise, how it all works together. Again, working with that mindset. For a lot of us, this is the catalyst to gain that sense of confidence, get in better shape, get more control of life, to go on to create that totally fulfilling life that we really want. So I realize for a lot of reasons, fitness is important. I want to help facilitate that, make it easier, make it simple.
That's awesome.
Use the
Hey,
motivation to follow
do you have
through.
any exercises that can lift the eyes up so you can actually see better? And maybe something that does, so we don't have to have plastic surgery, something to lift the neck. Is there any exercise?
Just lay down. Just lay down on your back and let
it go away.
That'll
be next. Okay.
This is what's exciting is, that Mike and I are going to want to participate. I don't know if you know, but back in the 80s, he was one of those exercise dancers in the leggings and the sweatshirt, but his arms were a little hairy. It was a little nauseating. So they ended up putting him out, but it got him going on that. So we might be able to resurrect some of that. But the other thing is, Manopause.com, we're really dedicated to finding people who know what the hell they're talking about, whether it's going to be in fitness, whether it's going to be in business, sports, whatever. Because Mike and I don't really know anything about anything. So we're finding people, especially
Speak for yourself. Oh my God.
We're finding people that our audience is going to be able to look at and say, yeah, I'm listening to that guy. They're not going to listen to me about fitness, but they'll listen
or
to
your dolphin shorts wearing.
Right.
You bringing those back, or those are out already?
Or hair grooming. They're not going to do that. And they probably won't listen to hair grooming from you either. But the point is that, that's why you're going to be such an important part of Manopause. And actually, we both feel strongly that fitness and health are one of the main things that we want to bring to our age group, because this is the time when we're all being challenged by illnesses and fatigue and being overweight and all that. So you're just the guy that we need for a site like this.
Well, right when I ran into the site, I mean, it was a perfect match. And the reason why is that your site, everything that you executed when I hit it, this has been a dream of mine. And if you were to look at a website like its old version, maninformation.com, it was my crude version 15 years ago to what you beautifully executed on your site, right? But I've taken detours of specialization where I am. I really love what I'm doing, but that bigger picture, what I was working towards, and when I ran into the Manopause.com website, I'm going, these guys did what I've been dreaming about, and they probably did it 10 times better than me. So, everything what you're doing, I know it's so needed because I've been talking to older men like us. That's all I do all day long. They're gonna love it. My guys that I've accumulated, my tribe, my coalition men, they're gonna just love everything that is on the Manopause.com website, because that's what I've been dreaming about. That's what I've been working towards. I'm so glad that you actually did it.
Right.
Well, and
Thank you.
we're hoping that as this goes on, people who are watching this will stay tuned and watch for Skip's videos, watch for his articles.
Yes.
And of course, we'll be doing these podcasts a lot more often now that you're part of the team.
Right. Yeah, and I just
wearing
let's tease them with some exciting stuff, right? Because I'm going to make this happen. The Manopause Transformation Contest.
Right.
Where I'm going to
there you go.
Participate with pictures. You're going to know the men that we have, and we're going to go through this together, right?
I think Mike and I are going to do before and after pictures. So
it'll be Larry. Look at Larry now, and then look at me later. It'll be.
Anyway, Skip, thanks so much for joining us today. I mean, this has been really, really great, very informative. And like I said, we're really excited about the future and all the great things that you're going to contribute to our website. So for Mike and I, thank you so much for being part of this. And thank you for watching. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.